This is Neil. He's interesting yet a strange young man. For work, he waits table at a restaurant. One day he was working at the restaurant. A lady gave him a hefty tip for his amazing service, which he immediately put in pocket. Unsure of what to do with the extra cash, Neil called upon his friends for some drinks at a friend's place. Unapologetically spending his new cash on expensive bottles, he cheers with his friends, taking one shot, then another shot after that. Finally, he checked the time and decided to return home. He drank more than he had in quite some time, and stupidly, Neil proceeded to get on his bike. He figured he could manage a quick ride home. Neil easily became distracted and ended up losing complete control of his bike, and our boy Neil hit someone. Now let's talk about Akanksha. She is young, simple, sensitive, and has an attractive personality. She prefers to wear dark clothing and spends most of her time texting and chatting with her friends online. She is a social butterfly. She belongs from a rich, wealthy family and never valued money at all. She came in a relationship with a boy whom she met online recently and started dating him. On one fine afternoon, they went to have lunch together at a restaurant. She took photos of the meal served and a few selfies to post them online. After completing the lunch, she called upon the waiter for the bill. She paid the bill and asked the waiter to keep the extra as a tip. Let's move on to Ivan. Ivan is a quiet, serious, open-minded kind of a man. He's loyal, faithful, has an extremely well-developed senses and aesthetic appreciation for beauty. Ivan belonged from a middle-class family and worked at a private company to support his family. He recently came out of a bad relationship which nearly destroyed him, causing severe and overwhelming grief. He walked around the city streets with no motive or destination. Things were supposed to be perfect, but instead he was left heartbroken. Rather mourning on it, he decided to move on with his life. This is when he met Akanksha online. One day he called her to meet him at a restaurant, which I would like to call it to be a date. What about Nancy? Nancy is an independent, peculiar, and a flamboyant kind of a woman. She is unpredictable and definitely lives by her own rules. Although she has a kind face and a unique style, don't be fooled as she is the kind of a woman who tries to pursue a life of pleasure without any responsibility or attachment. She dumped her boyfriend saying he didn't care for her, but instead she was interested in some other man. 2 years of relationship was damaged beyond interactability. One day as she was walking through the streets talking with her new boyfriend on the phone, Nancy was hit by a drunk rider from behind. So what does this all mean? Let's recap. Had Nancy not broken up with Ivan, Ivan would have never been there with Akanksha. Had Akanksha not been there in the restaurant, she would have never tipped Neil. Had she never tipped Neil, Neil would have never got the extra money to celebrate and get drunk. Had he never rode drunk, the accident would have never happened. Here, I think what I'm trying to say is, we are all inevitably connected in some way or other. Every single one of us all over the world. What one person does affects another. A small shift in our thinking and a small change in our energy can lead to massive alterations of our end results. This is called the butterfly effect.
It's not a... sorry.
কি হৈছে তো সন্ধিয়া হলে ভালো হৈছে খালি যে টেবল টেবল চেক